Imagine this. You're hooked up to machines in a hospital room. The doctor has just given you 6 months at best, and instead of tears or comfort, your wife immediately grabs her phone and begins building spreadsheets. No embrace, no shared grief, just cold, efficient planning. That moment cracked something open inside me, though I had no clue how deep the fracture really ran until it was nearly too late. My name is Daniel. I'm 38 now and used to work as a financial analyst, the sort who spent every workday assessing dangers and preparing for disasters. Ironically, I never prepared for the one that actually arrived. 3 months back, I received the diagnosis, an especially vicious cancer. The type where physicians skip discussions of cures and instead focus on easing discomfort and counting remaining days. My wife Mara absorbed the verdict like it was another office task, composed, methodical, instantly shifting into solution mode. She created a dosing timetable, used different colors for my various visits, purchased one of those weekly pill boxes labeled by day. She looked at me and said, "Love means doing, Daniel, and I'm going to do." At first I felt fortunate to have such a steady, competent partner beside me. I was mistaken. Those opening 2 weeks passed reasonably well. She transported me to every appointment, ensured I swallowed food, even camped on the nearby couch whenever agony kept me awake. Then a subtle change crept in. I began registering small signals. The quiet exhale when I requested a drink, the quick exit when vomiting started, the tight set of her mouth whenever nurses outlined home care demands. One night around 2 a.m., the pain meds left me unable to reach the bathroom unaided. I called her name repeatedly. Eventually she appeared, but her expression carried irritation rather than worry, like I'd disrupted something critical. Again, she muttered flatly, "No question mark." She assisted me, yet her grip felt brusque and hurried. Back in bed, she offered no farewell, simply rolled over and yanked the covers high. That was when the deeper chill settled in, not from the illness, but from sensing I'd already vanished from her world, that she was merely biding time until official documents matched her new reality. The following morning she offered regret, blamed exhaustion, admitted caregiving felt heavier than anticipated. I accepted the explanation because I desperately wanted to believe it, because I needed an anchor. But matters deteriorated instead of improving. She spent increasing hours glued to her screen, exchanging texts with unfamiliar contacts, chuckling at private jokes she refused to explain. Whenever I inquired about the recipients, she brushed it off as colleagues or concerned acquaintances. Too frail to insist, too ill to dig deeper, I let it slide. My sister Lauren stopped by one afternoon bringing supplies. Mara was absent despite claiming she'd remain home all day. Lauren scanned the untouched water beside me, the overdue pills, and asked quietly, "Daniel, where exactly is she?" I offered excuses, said Mara required respites, said the burden weighed on her too. Lauren remained unconvinced, yet held back from pressing harder. She lingered until Mara returned 3 hours later carrying bags from shops unrelated to food. What I learned much later, Mara had already begun an involvement with Cole, a married, dissatisfied colleague from her workplace. Their connection sparked during one of her supposed mental health drives. He supplied normal exchanges free of illness talk, a glimpse of the woman she used to be, unlinked to a dying spouse. In her reasoning, it hardly counted as betrayal since I seemed halfway departed anyway. She convinced herself she merited joy before collapse arrived, and since I'd soon be gone, discovery wouldn't carry consequences. The truly twisted element, she wasn't merely waiting for my exit. She depended on it. We held life policies, joint savings, my pension funds, and after 6 years together she presumed automatic transfer to her upon my passing. She'd quietly browsed upscale rentals in nicer districts, envisioning a clean restart once I vanished. I discovered those browser traces afterward, but back then, I simply registered her gradual withdrawal without grasping the cause. Roughly 6 weeks after diagnosis, I suffered a severe flare-up, high fever, violent trembling. I shouted for help, no response. I shouted louder, silence. Barely able, I texted, "Please, I need assistance." 5 minutes passed before she entered. From the hallway, I overheard her on a call, "Gotta run." Another episode. The word another dripped with exasperation, as though I staged crises to inconvenience her. She assisted minimally that night. Come morning, she erupted. "I'm fading away too, Daniel," she shouted. "Trapped here, trapped in monotony, witnessing you slip while powerless to stop it." I stretched toward her hand, promised we'd endure together. She recoiled. "You truly don't understand," she stated, voice now icy and deliberate. "I cannot keep being the wife you require. I simply cannot." That exchange ought to have jolted me awake, yet my own crisis blinded me. I interpreted her words as sorrow processing, as foregrief, themes familiar from support literature. I failed to see she'd already relocated emotionally, constructing an existence excluding me, passively awaiting biology to finalize her freedom and deliver assets without divorce complications. Then an unforeseen turn occurred, something none of us foresaw. Improvement began. Not a dramatic cure, but an innovative protocol my sister Lauren located and practically insisted I join. Early stages showed little difference. Gradually vitality returned, discomfort eased, scans displayed progress. My specialist began mentioning surprising reaction and notable advancement. Mara showed no joy. When the oncologist suggested I could possibly defeat this, perhaps gain years rather than months, her expression flattened. "That's wonderful," she replied tonelessly, as casually as commenting on a meal choice. Driving home, she stayed mute, knuckles white on the wheel. I sensed trouble brewing. That evening, I caught her weeping in the bathroom. When I inquired, she claimed overwhelm. Only later did I learn the real reason for those tears. Her strategy had collapsed. I would not depart and hand her security. Now I remained to witness her betrayals. Mara had wagered on my decline. She acted freely, assuming consequences wouldn't arrive in time. My survival shattered that wager. I still lacked full knowledge then. I merely recognized my spouse viewed my healing as catastrophe instead of gift. That prompted closer observation, tracking her absences, her contacts, her actions when assuming I remained oblivious. Too fragile for direct challenge, too reliant for open war, I collected mental records, noted inconsistencies in her schedule, fleeting names, mismatched receipts. My sister noticed my shift too. During one visit while Mara ran yet another unexplained errand, Lauren studied me and asked, "Daniel, what's truly occurring?" I lacked complete answers yet. But pieces coalesced into something uglier than the cancer itself. The disease aimed to erase me. Mara simply waited for erasure to complete so she could proceed unencumbered. Surviving when everyone braced for decline confuses people. Some prefer the expected outcome. Mara belonged to that group. As strength returned, as I navigated rooms independently, as physicians spoke of stability and remission, she withdrew further, almost grieving a loss that never materialized. I briefly wondered if she struggled to process near-bereavement trauma. Wrong again. 2 weeks post-clear scan, I felt capable of light tidying, straightening the living area, sorting leftover prescriptions. Beneath old periodicals, I discovered her tablet, screen still active, messages visible. Shamefully, I read. The initial thread belonged to Cole. Within moments, the nature became unmistakable. Rendezvous arrangements, declarations that only those stolen hours revived her, cautions about his wife growing wary. I trembled, not medication side effects, pure shock. Scrolling revealed months of exchanges, meetings scheduled, grievances aired about my condition. admissions that she required this escape to cope. Another thread surfaced from Ben via a hookup platform. Detached, functional exchanges about brief hotel escapes, no attachment, merely relief from home reality. More fragments appeared, forming a clear habit. My wife hadn't merely slipped once. She de-erected a parallel existence while I lay vulnerable. I captured images of every thread, my analyst instincts activating despite unsteady fingers. Organized them chronologically in a secure folder, uploaded backups. Replaced the device precisely, then collapsed onto the sofa attempting to absorb the revelation. When Mara returned, she inquired about my day, my appetite, routine inquiries delivered mechanically. I stayed silent, observing. Sleep evaded me, so I pursued evidence methodically. Reviewed online call logs, spotted unknown numbers clustered during her alleged outings. Examined statements, located dining charges and lodging fees in areas she never mentioned. Each discovery deepened the portrait. Calculated, deliberate infidelity grounded in certainty I'd never confront her. Days later Lauren visited, read my expression, demanded truth. I revealed the collection, captures, records, timelines. Her reaction moved from disbelief through rage to steely resolve. She urged legal counsel immediately, asset safeguarding before Mara realized exposure. Wise advice, yet I delayed, needing additional stamina, more documentation. The turning point arrived 3 weeks afterward. Mara carelessly left her phone charging near the shower. It vibrated, preview visible, Cole inquiring whether I suspected. That glimpse confirmed awareness of wrongdoing. She proceeded regardless, still betting on my limited future. That evening I chose confrontation, not explosive but measured. Over a strained dinner, I asked plainly if she felt content in our marriage. Startled, she deflected, blamed adjustment to my unexpected health. I pressed for honesty, then voiced the names. Cole, Ben, others implied. Blood left her cheeks, then flooded back as fury. No denial, no remorse, only accusation. Had I invaded her privacy? I clarified the open tablet, shifted focus back to her conduct. She declared I chose this moment after all her supposed devotion. I questioned what devotion meant when viewed from my perspective. Present physically perhaps 6 weeks, then absent in every meaningful sense while pursuing alternatives. She snatched her bag, announced inability to continue now, stormed toward exit. I asked when she planned disclosure, or whether she intended waiting for my natural conclusion. She halted, pivoted, features hardening. Acknowledged seeing others, justified needing escape from illness, fear, obligation. Needed feeling desired rather than required. I inquired directly whether she assumed consequences irrelevant because I'd soon vanish, whether she'd mapped post-death plans including inheritance and fresh start. Silence answered louder than words. She departed claiming a friend's couch, space to reflect. I permitted it. I required space too for attorney meetings, strategy building. Mara misjudged gravely. Assumed sickness rendered me powerless across every domain, unobservant, incapable of counterplanning, too near death for repercussions. Wrong. Recovery granted strength, awareness, agency. Over subsequent weeks, while she believed we paused for reconsideration, I acted decisively. Consulted counsel, examined our prenuptial agreement, standard for someone in finance. Uncovered the infidelity penalty clause she'd skimmed years earlier. Assembled airtight proof, cataloged meticulously. Updated beneficiaries across policies, retirement plans, estate documents, quiet transfers avoiding immediate flags. Reached Cole's spouse indirectly, forwarded documentation anonymously. Contacted Mara's employer HR, supplied timeline of policy violations. Work hours misused, company equipment for personal matters, facility access abused. All executed while she reflected. She returned after 7 days, voiced regret without sincerity, proposed repairing us. I detected hedging, maintaining fallback should my condition worsen. But I strengthened daily, clarity sharpening. Strange developments puzzled her. Sudden HR summons Monday, vague headache excuse upon return. Tuesday she stayed home claiming personal time, tone brittle. I knew termination followed, remained quiet. Wednesday my attorney confirmed. Filings complete, separations finalized, divorce initiated. Service imminent. That afternoon, with Mara absent, supposed coffee outing, Lauren assisted packing Mara's necessities, apparel, personal items, her papers, into containers. Stacked neatly near entrance. Evening arrival, Mara spotted the thick folder, my calm demeanor. I wasted no preamble. Past divorce filing first, infidelity grounds, evidence appended. Next, prenup highlighted. Then asset summary, everything reassigned, beneficiaries altered, marital property shielded. Fear flickered in her gaze for the first time since diagnosis. I continued. Cole's wife received full disclosure. Marriage imploding, aggressive division underway. Explained termination, corporate misuse detailed, time theft documented. She protested caregiving efforts, claimed entitlement after enduring hardship. I acknowledged initial 6 weeks genuine support, thanked her sincerely. Then noted subsequent months erased that credit. She questioned her next steps, penniless future. I referenced prenup terms she accepted. Suggested perhaps her companions might assist, though doubted, given preference for complication-free liaisons. She gathered essentials, stared at waiting boxes in disbelief, accused vindictiveness, claimed I ruined her existence over uncomfortable reality. My final words: I didn't ruin your life, Mara. I simply continued living mine. You constructed plans assuming my absence. That miscalculation isn't my burden. She exited without luggage, perhaps believing return would reveal prank. No prank existed. Following days brought consequences. Declined cards, inaccessible accounts, changed locks. She attempted contact, appeared once. Lauren and I ignored knocks until departure. Lauren helped donate abandoned belongings. Afterward she asked if relief arrived. Honestly, not really, but neither did pain. Merely closure on prolonged harm, ending permission for continued damage, due to prior vulnerability. 3 months onward, word reached me. Mara resided with her mother, employed in entry-level retail, attempting reconstruction. Cole divorced, lost parenting rights, relocated states away. Ben faded back into digital anonymity. Me, remission holds. Life rebuilds gradually. Mara occupies little thought now. No regret lingers over severity, no pondering second chances. She wagered against my survival, structured tomorrow around my erasure. When the wager collapsed, so did her position. That isn't vengeance, not precisely justice either. Merely consequence arriving when someone erects tomorrow atop another's presumed grave, before the grave is dug. What are your thoughts on this experience? Share below.